they're beautiful today. Look, Marina. Must you always be so tiresome? Get these horrid things away.
Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by rolling meadows and silvery streams, there lived a poor widow with 2 daughters. The elder was so much like her mother in looks and temper that whoever saw one could not help thinking of the other. Both were proud, haughty, and selfish. The younger, however, was gentle, kind, and beautiful, her beauty shining not only from her face, but from her tender heart. Because people tend to love those who resemble themselves, the widow adored her elder daughter and could hardly bear to look at the younger. The poor girl was forced to do all the work of the house, fetching water from the far-off spring, scrubbing floors, and tending the animals. She bore all this with patience, never uttering a word of complaint. One hot afternoon, when the sun hung lazily over the meadows, the younger daughter went to the spring to fetch water. The path wound through the forest and down into a glade where the spring sparkled like liquid crystal. As she filled her pitcher, an old woman appeared beside her. The woman's dress was ragged, her gray hair hung loose about her face, and her hands trembled as she held out a small cup.
My dear child, will you give me a drink?
Of course, good mother.
She rinsed the cup carefully, filled it with the clear, cool water from the spring, and handed it to the stranger, supporting her arm so she could drink easily. The old woman looked at her kindly. "You are very good, my dear. Since you have been so obliging, I will bestow a gift upon you."
I am not what I appear to be, but a fairy who delights in rewarding kindness. From this day forth, with every word you speak, a flower or a jewel shall fall from your lips. Thank you.
The girl curtsied, astonished, and stammered her thanks. As she spoke, 2 roses, a pearl, and a diamond dropped from her mouth and fell into the grass. She blushed and quickly gathered them, fearing the fairy might think her greedy. But the fairy only smiled and vanished into a beam of light. When the girl returned home, her mother scolded her for taking so long.
What have you been doing, lazy one?
She cried. "I suppose you've been idling under a tree while I've been slaving here alone." "I'm sorry, mother," said the girl softly. "I stopped at the spring."
I'm sorry, mother.
As she spoke, 3 diamonds, 2 roses, and a lily fell from her mouth. Her mother's eyes grew wide. "What's this?"
What's this? What's this?
Diamonds from your mouth?
she cried, picking up the jewels. "Diamonds, roses, pearls!
This is wonderful. We shall be rich.
How did this happen?" The girl told her everything honestly, every word dropping more flowers and jewels. The greedy woman clapped her hands with glee. "This is wonderful," she exclaimed. "I must send my other daughter to the spring at once. If one of you can produce diamonds, the other will surely produce even finer ones." The next morning, the widow called her elder daughter. "Look at your sister," she said. "All this wealth comes from her words. You must go to the spring and do exactly what she did. Hurry now."
Your sister must go to the spring at once. Go!
I'll find that fairy easily.
The elder sister, though vain and proud, was eager to be rich. She set off toward the spring, but she refused to take the same path her sister had used. "I won't walk through that dusty road," she muttered. "I'll take the shady lane and arrive just as well." As she reached the spring, a beautiful lady appeared beside it, her gown shimmering with silk and silver threads. It was the same fairy who had appeared before, but now she had taken the shape of a princess. "Good morning, fair maiden," said the fairy in her gentle voice. "Will you be so kind as to give me a drink?" "Do you think I've come all this way to fetch water for you?" replied the girl rudely.
I brought this pitcher for my mother, not for strangers. Since you are so impolite and unkind, you shall have a gift that suits your nature.
You might have at least given me some out of courtesy, said the fairy calmly, but since you are so impolite and unkind, I shall bestow upon you the gift that suits your nature.
From this moment, with every word you speak, a snake or a toad shall fall from your lips. How dare you!
From this moment, with every word you speak, a snake or a toad shall fall from your lips. The proud girl turned pale with anger. How dare you speak to me that way, she began. But before she could finish, 2 toads and a large green snake dropped from her lips. She screamed and ran all the way home. Her mother was waiting impatiently at the door. Well, my dear, did the fairy grant you a gift?
What's the matter, my child? The fairy, she cursed me.
A gift indeed, cried the elder daughter, but as she spoke, a handful of wriggling toads and snakes fell to the floor. Heavens! Screamed the widow. What horror is this? This is your sister's doing.
Mother? Sister? Get out! You've cursed this house with your lies and magic! Mother, please. Even now you mock me with your tricks.
I'll make her pay for it. Without another word, she chased the younger daughter out of the house, slamming the door behind her. The poor girl wandered into the forest, crying softly.
Why can't you be more like your sister?
As she sat beneath a tree, the fairy appeared again, not as an old woman or a princess this time, but as a radiant figure clothed in light.
My dear child, you have been wronged, but your heart is pure.
My dear child, said the fairy gently, you have been wronged, but your heart is pure. Go toward the royal palace, you will find your destiny there. The girl obeyed. She walked for miles until she reached a great city where the king's palace shone like gold in the sunlight. Just as she arrived, the king's son, Prince Adrian, was riding past on horseback. When he saw her, he stopped, struck by her beauty and her gentle bearing.
Who are you, fair maiden?
I am no one of importance, my lord. I have no home, no
By
family.
all the stars, a miracle.
As she spoke, diamonds and roses fell from her lips. The prince stared in astonishment. By all the stars, he exclaimed, a miracle! Tell me, who has treated you so cruelly that you wander alone? She told him everything, how her mother had loved her sister, how she had been sent away, and how the fairy had blessed her. The prince listened with compassion, and with every word she spoke, more flowers and jewels sparkled on the ground. He gathered the jewels, but more than that, he gathered the truth of her heart. He led her to the palace, presented her to the king, and told the whole story. The king, wise and kind, recognized her goodness and declared, "Such virtue deserves reward." Within a week, the prince and the maiden were married, and the whole court rejoiced. Everywhere she went, she spread beauty and grace, not only through magic, but through her kindness and humility. Meanwhile, the wicked mother and her elder daughter heard of the younger's good fortune.
Imagine, our foolish girl, a princess.
"Imagine!" cried the mother. "That fool has become a princess. Come, my child, we must go to the palace. She will make us rich too." But the moment they entered the royal garden, the guards drew back in disgust, for with every word the elder daughter spoke, snakes and toads fell from her mouth. The smell and sight of them frightened everyone nearby. The king ordered them to be removed from the grounds. The widow begged for mercy, but her heart was as hard as ever. When she turned on her daughter in anger, snakes fell from her own lips, for her words had become poisoned by hate. At last, they fled the kingdom and were never seen again. As for the younger sister, she lived happily ever after with her prince.
Kindness grows wherever it is planted.
Though jewels still fell from her lips, she spoke with modesty, using her gift to help the poor and decorate the gardens with flowers. The fairy often visited her, unseen, and smiled to see how wisely she used the blessing. And it was said throughout the land, "Kind words bring forth beauty, but cruel words breed monsters." So children learned that gentleness is stronger than pride, and that a good heart is the fairest treasure in all the world.